everybody, this is Tanger here. I'm on the Anarchic Frontiers Expeditions server. It's a 3-year-old plus server, and I've never actually done an introduction video for it before, so I figured now that I've got it all updated to 1.10.2, I gotta go and explore everything, make sure everything's still working, look around, and I figure I'll go ahead and record it and do like a tour for people who haven't played on here before. I got a few mods going. I've got shaders going right now, and it definitely makes things look a lot different. And some things don't really look right, but other things look really cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it on, even though you can probably tell it's impairing the frame rate quite a bit. It still looks pretty awesome. All right, so right here we're in the Spaceport. This is the idea is basically you're part of an expeditionary group that explores outer space on all these different little missions, and this is the spaceport where the whole mission is run from, and they've got multiple ships here that you venture off into the universe on. This one here is the Axiom. That one goes to the Anarchic Frontiers server. We'll check that one out. Oh, that's the Axiom 2 actually. We'll check that one out in a little bit. Here's some of the crew members. They'll tell you how to join the mission if you want, and I'll do that later. And here's one of the other ships. This is the Axiom 1, and it goes to the Mava expedition right now. And here's one of their crew members. And we'll go have a look at that in a second as well. I want to show you the rest of the space station. So here's the Hall of Fame. All of the Hall of Legends. I mean, all of the most active or amazing members in some way. They've been immortalized here with their own little pedestal and a little blurb about their accomplishments. And it's about full, so if you want to play on this server and you want to get a spot on the Hall of Legends, you're going to have to actually outdo one of these guys and replace them, I guess. Oh, there's also the Hall of Regulars here. This is just regular players who've been playing recently. If you're playing a lot, I kind of like rank these, weekly. The most active players get put up here. So you can still be in the hall here, even if you're not one of the most legendary players on the server, which is kind of hard to beat. Now that the server's 3 years old, there's some pretty impressive builds. There's some pretty cool stuff on here that it is really something else. I'll show you some of that in a little while. So over here is like the facilities area. It's like it's for the crew of the expedition. And there's also some information here about the mission and how like they're just off and exploring. They've well, you can just read it. I'm not gonna just read it all, but yeah, there's some more information about the mission and the ships and scout ships and surveying missions. I'll talk about those in a sec. And here's some cool things over here. There's a holodeck. Right now it's just a tutorial level, but later on we might have like combat arenas and stuff like that. There's also an astral realm, which is really cool. I'll show you that later. This one right here is the tutorial arena, and I'm just going to hop in here real quick. These are the holo projectors. And now we're on a holodeck, and here we go. We can kind of like look around, and there's some tutorials, and there's a whole bunch of custom recipes that are illustrated here so that you can make all sorts of blocks that otherwise might be hard to get on some of the worlds. Horse armor, saddles, chainmail armor, name tags. Over here there's some information about several of the mods, like there's information about protecting your chests and furnaces. I might talk about that in a different video. Yeah, that's more about that. And it talks about some more protection features. I'm just going to skip that for now because I'll talk about that in a different tutorial. And yeah, so let's leave the holodeck, go back to the spaceport, and here we are, we're back in the holo emitters. So I'm going to get out of there. There's just a little bit of extra decorative nonsense in here. It's functionally useless, but it just kind of looks cool. We got the cryo, what do I call it? Cryogenics lab. These are like cryo pods where you can get frozen for the long space voyages. Some of these other planets. I'll show you some of that stuff later. And there's like a hydroponics bay down here. It's kind of cool. and it's locked apparently. And yeah, this is how the space station makes all of its food and whatnot. So I'm gonna hop out of here. And there's also like a cool observation deck up on top. This is the crew quarters. There's an observation module up here. I'm gonna go ahead and look in it real quick to see what it looks like with this with these shaders on. It's dark as hell in here, but let's see what it looks like when I get to the top. Yeah, so yeah, with the shaders mod, I've got clouds. I guess these are space clouds, so you can have clouds in space. That makes sense. And you can see the whole space station from up here, and you can see this other ship. It's this old giant freighter ship that Commander made back in the day. I went ahead and docked it over here on the space station, and you can see some of the scout vessels and stuff like that. Oh, and hey, look at this. What do we got over there? Oh no, what is that? Maybe some people will recognize it. I'm not going to give it away though, but maybe we'll look at that a little later maybe. And here we are in the crew section again. Yeah, these things here are supposed to be holograms. Like these are holo emitters, and these are giant holographic signs. They don't really render very well when there's blocks in the way, but they still look pretty cool, so I like to leave them on. Looks pretty neat. Oh, here's like a guide. He'll tell you about how to join the missions. You can get all the quests to join all the missions. He'll tell you how to do them. If you hit him with the right click, he'll give you the missions. And if you hit him, or he'll tell you the mission progress. And if you hit him with the left click, he'll tell you what missions you have. I'm in admin mode right now, so I get extra nonsense here that you won't see, but it's essentially the same functionality. So I'm going to go ahead and join the survey.